Hey guys, welcome back to VW Family Farm. And today I'm going to answer some questions that I've been asked many times. Questions about our high tunnel, questions about farm projects we've done, and how you can do the same things for free. How you can get free money to help you start your farm or improve your farm or garden. First off, let's head back to the farmland so I can show you better what I'm talking about, some of the projects we've done. And also drop a comment below on how the audio is on this video. We've invested in some new equipment. You can see it here on my shirt. And so we're attempting to improve the quality of our videos so you can hear us better and just makes for an overall better viewing experience. So let me know if you tell a difference. We've had some windy videos lately, so drop it down below what you think of the new audio. Okay, so I am out here with the cows. I have fed a group of steers and I fed our cows way back there. And I just want to get right into it. I want to give you some hard numbers and facts. It's hard to find numbers when you're looking into certain things. Nobody wants to talk about money or how much money they got from a certain program. And we're just going to lay it out there today because I know the things I would want to know. And so I'm going to tell them to you guys first. So let's start at the beginning. What are we even talking about? Where can you get money to help you as a farmer or a gardener? Well, what I'm talking about today is grant money from the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, specifically the NRCS division. It stands for Natural Resources Conservation Service. And there is an office for these in almost every county in America. If not, some smaller counties are combined. You might have to look to the next county over, but they're all around. There's one in our county. There's one in all the surrounding counties around us. So they are there. Look up USDA, start there. First things first, you're going to probably have to fill out some paperwork with them. Again, I've probably lost some of you on this video already, but let me give a little disclaimer. If you are one of those that is like, I don't want any money, I don't want them to know anything about me, I want them to stay out of my business and all those things. This, in my opinion, is something you have already paid into. If you pay taxes, which you either do or you are breaking the law, they already know things about you. You've already paid money to the government, so why not reap some of the rewards? This is not a video to convince you of that. That is just another way to think about it. Be open-minded. Don't always be hard and fast. This is the way it is and I'll never change my mind, because there is so much funding out there and available that you could be taken advantage of that you've already written off. So just watch this video, keep an open mind. Second thing, a lot of the people that work in these offices are local people. They are your neighbors. In fact, you might be surprised that you actually already know some of them. So they're not some guy in a black three-piece suit that's going to come out and try to take your land from you and run your whole life. It doesn't work that way. It just simply doesn't. However, you will have to fill out some paperwork. You will have to create an account and get in their system. That's just the way it works. That's the way anything works these days. They're not just going to hand out money and you give them nothing, no information. So you will have to go in and meet with them. There are so many free resources you're going to get without ever even taking a dime from them or without ever signing in any sort of contract. You can get soil samples. You can get the history of your property, things you don't even know, the best practices and ways to do things because of things going on your property. So let's talk about, why are they doing this? Why do they give out grant money to farmers and gardeners and all those things? Well, the name says it all, Natural Resources Conservation Service. They are concerned about natural resources and the environment. So if there is an environmental concern that they can address by giving out these grants and these funds, then that is going to up your chances of being chosen to receive them. You can see behind me, I have rolled out hay for these steers. Back that way, I've rolled out hay for our cows. That is part of a program we're part of right now. It's called EQIP. It stands for, it has a name. Anyway, it's about environmental concerns, environmental quality. but it is shortened to the name EQIP. So that's how I'm going to refer to it for the rest of this video. And that's how a lot of NRCS agents refer to it, as the EQIP program. It's a large program and it encompasses a lot of things, and they will write you a personalized plan. So like part of our plan is rolling out hay. We move that around not because they're like, oh, that's helps your cows or that's going to help you make more money. It's not about that, although some of those things do come into play. It helps us grow more cows per acre by rolling out hay and rotationally grazing. Their concern is the environment and the things that rolling out hay, and we're also in a program when we're not feeding hay, we're feeding grasses that are growing. So rotationally grazing, moving those around, not letting them eat down to bare soil and strip the land. They're concerned with the land. So a lot of those things have in turn helped farmers make more money and be more profitable, but it has also begun to heal the land. Regenerative agriculture is gaining in popularity all the time. So if you start looking into the EQIP program, they're more than likely going to send some people out, and these will be experts in their field. They will be like grassland specialists, biologists, all the different things they will send out to your property. For one, they will look for the history of your property. They'll look at the layout, different things. We've had them come out and we've learned a lot of things about our own property that's been in Ben's family for generations that we simply did not know. Now, did they ask us to do some stuff? Yes, of course they did, because before they're going to hand out money, they have to ensure that they're doing their job. So like over there is a very wet area. They ask us to not put them in that area. It's really a simple fix of just fencing them out. They were just destroying it. There's not desirable grasses in it, and they are addressing an environmental concern. So it's not something unreasonable. Let's talk about these. This is another program we are in with them, the tire tanks and this gravel around it. This is called a heavy use area around this water tank. This is because ponds are not a good solution. We have ponds on our property. We have ponds for the cows to drink out of, but they just destroy the land around it. They get in it. It's nasty. It's a breeding ground for just bacteria and things. There's runoff from those ponds. There's just a lot of environmental concerns with muddy ponds that cows are getting in and pooping in and peeing in and all the things. So these are watering facilities is what they call them. It's actually a tire tank that we have poured concrete down in the bottom of, and we've put some plumbing in, and they refill themselves from a water line that they're hooked up to. Let me flip you guys around. So you can see this tire tank. You can see there's the plumbing. We actually turned the water off to this one because we had some freezing here not too long ago, and we just installed these, had a little freezing issue with it, and should have had it up and going and flowing so it wouldn't have frozen. But you can see this gravel heavy use area. They don't like this on their feet necessarily. So you know what that does? That keeps them from sitting here and just destroying the land around the water trough. Same thing with rolling out hay. Have you ever looked at a hay ring? And I'm not dogging on anybody. We still have hay rings on our property, but the land around a hay ring is utterly a mess, especially in the winter when it gets a little muddy. Rolling out hay just protects the top layers of the soil so much better. And when you get to letting cows just stomp in the mud and make a big mess, this is probably going to get a little deeper than you want to go, but you're just losing carbon out of your soil. You're basically tilling up your land, and it's just not good for it. So a lot of these things are good for your land, and they're willing to pay you to do them. Rates will be different in your area, and rates are going to be based on how much you do something, like on the rotational grazing, on the rolling out hay. All those things are going to be based on how many times do we do that, and we have to do it in the areas that they've asked us to, because they're trying to address some concerns with the soil that they've seen. But all in all, once we do that, we will probably have about $9,000 at the end of 2025, and that's from simply rolling out our hay and rotationally grazing, which we are literally doing anyway, because we do believe in regenerative agriculture and healing our land. We have seen the proof in the pudding here on our farm. When we first started trying to run cattle on our farm where it had previously been row cropped, We had lots of places of just bare dirt. It was actually very disheartening and scary, thinking, what are these cows going to eat? We did not realize this was this bare and this thin. And now we have so much grass. It's almost more than we know what to do with sometimes, which is such a good problem. But all in all, that is a program that we are excited about because it's paying us to do something we're already doing. Let me just take this time to say too, you don't have to have 100 acres, 1,000 acres, or anything like that to apply for some of these programs. You don't even have to have 1 full acre. And also, if you live, say, in the middle of the inner city, there's programs for you too. There's programs for people out in the country. There's programs for people in town, in cities. So you just need to check that out. Also, are you a beginner? Meaning, have you been filing a Schedule F, which is for farming, on your taxes for less than 10 years? If so, you're considered a beginning farmer and you get a higher percentage paid to you, as well as you get, like, I don't want to say preferential treatment, but kind of. You get kind of bumped up the list if you're a beginning farmer. Those are exactly the people they're targeting. They have target audiences that they are looking for. It doesn't mean if you're not in one of those that you won't get funded, but it means if you are, say, in a minority, maybe you're a woman or something other, some sort of something in your life puts you in a minority, then you are probably further up the list. That's a good thing. You get higher percentages paid to you as well to help you. So you can see behind us, there is the High Tunnel Initiative. And so this is nationwide, and it used to be fairly difficult to get a high tunnel through this program. However, as time has gone on, it has gotten easier and easier. Now, let me tell you about our experience. We built this first one in 2020. And the first thing you need to know is you need to already have a garden where you're desiring to put one of these high tunnels. So if you don't, that's what you need to do ASAP, is you need to establish a garden there. Just start one. Do something towards having a garden in the spot that you're wanting to have it. They will come out after you've applied and look at it and help you pick out a spot. There's things that you can do to, again, bump yourself higher up, because again, it's about conservation, water conservation, different things like that. So it just all depends on what you're willing to do. Do you want a well? Do you not want a well? Things like that. Those are things that they can help you with. Now, let me say, everybody wants to know, are these free, cost-wise, and all the things. This one right here is 96 foot long, and it's not as wide as this one. I know this one is 84 by 30 foot wide, so it's wider but shorter. This one is not that wide. I don't know the exact dimensions. But we put this in 2020. We all know what 2020 entailed. So we were approved for a good amount. We went through a company and bought it, Grower Solution. They got approved to sell NRCS tunnels, in fact, at that time, because we told them we wanted to purchase it through them, so they went through the steps to get approved. That's why when you order greenhouses, sometimes they will say NRCS approved. You can order them once you're approved for the grant from wherever you want to, as long as it is an NRCS approved company. Right about the time, between the time we were approved and when we were purchasing the tunnel and when we were going to be putting it up and subsequently reimbursed for it, the price of metal and everything skyrocketed. So it was going to cost way more than what they were going to give us. So we just had to simply go to them and say, you know, this is not the same prices when we put in for this. Y'all are going to have to do something, or we need some way out of this contract, because we had already signed that we wanted to do it. Okay, contract. Let's pause there and pursue that subject, and then we'll come back to this story. When I say contract, that means that you are growing in your high tunnel for you're growing to sell things. You're not trying to set up a high tunnel and just get a free high tunnel to park your tractor in and park your lawnmower. You're actually going to grow things. Do you have to sell them? No, it's my understanding you don't. But you do have to be wanting to grow vegetables or flowers, herbs, things like that in your high tunnel. It's not just to get a structure, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. Other than that, we have had no problems with anyone breathing down our neck or saying, you're not doing what you're supposed to. If you are desiring to get a high tunnel for high tunnel purposes, you will be fine. And it is not a contract for the rest of your life or anything like that. We built ours, we fulfilled our obligations, and they're ours, and they're very nice, and I love them. Back to the story. So they came back and they did allocate more money for this big one right here. We did wind up paying someone to help us put it up. It took Ben, my husband, our son, Lane, and a friend who knew what he was doing. He's actually here on YouTube, Mindful Farmer. We paid him. He came, and so basically 3 adult men, because Lane was not fully grown, but he could work like an adult man. It took them a solid week. So it was a lot of work. I would say it took a 40-hour week probably for 3 guys. So you can say 120 hours of work. And that was with someone who had done it many, many times and knew every step, like was just rolling with it. So it's not a small project. Okay, so that cost us a little bit because we paid him to do that. So I want to say on that whole project, with them allocating more money, we wound up paying around $3,000. Okay. Then fast forward to 2024, we were approved for this one. I believe we received, so this just happened in the last couple months, and I believe we received about $6 per square foot. So that can tell you about what you would receive. We wound up finding someone in our area, and you may have someone like this too. So this is why it helps to network and talk to people. And your NRCS agent may know someone as well. But the man bends the metal, basically manufactures the kit, and then he installs it. So by him installing it for you, you agree to use his kit, which is, it's amazing. It's heavy duty. He knows what he's doing, and we're very tickled. So it wound up being about $6 per square foot. We came out, we owed him about $2,000, but we did not lift a finger. And he did end walls and everything, because sometimes end walls are not included. So you've got to think about that. What is included and what's not. We came out owing $2,000 and we did nothing, and we are tickled. So that kind of gives you some info on exactly what we had to spend to get these two. Let me just say, it is well worth it. High tunnels are very, very expensive these days, and it has been worth every penny. It has extended our growing season. You can see I still have things growing in there from the fall, and it is February. So it extends your growing season significantly. You can be, if you're trying to sell vegetables, you can be the first one to have things because your growing season is extended a significant amount. If you're growing for your family, and say you live somewhere where your growing season is not that long, it can extend it enough that you're successful in growing food for your family and putting away vegetables for your family. It is just, it's a win-win in my book. And so it used to be very competitive to get these. I don't know what changed, except like I mentioned earlier in the video, there's just more funding available is all I can think of, but they're not that difficult to get. In fact, most people who apply have gotten one. Will that end soon? Was last year the last year that it was easy to get? I have no idea, but I would say get in while the getting's good. I would not put it off. Generally, you apply for them in the fall, and then you find out in the spring if you got one. Again, if you missed it, go ahead and contact your office, because I don't know when all the deadlines are. But immediate things you need to do, get a garden established. That's number one, is start planting something. And then if you get approved, you can build right on top of it and just keep on rocking along gardening while you're putting the greenhouse or the high tunnel on top of it. I hope this clears some of this up. I hope it answers some questions. Working with the USDA and the NRCS office, Farm Service Agency, those are there to help you. The money is there anyway. So I just can't encourage you enough to just check it out. There's no harm in checking it out. And even if you decide, no, I'm not signing anything, just going through the process, there's so much information you can get that you would have to pay hundreds of dollars for. Soil samples and biologists and things coming and just looking and helping you with your soil and your land and the history of your property, that information is invaluable whether you proceed with it or not. I hope this helps, and I will see you guys on the next one. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and we will see you later. God bless.